Good evening and welcome to the December 20th meeting of the Joliet City Council. Mayor Bob Odenkirk presiding. We will be led, we will have the invocation done by Pastor Solomon Jati from Cristo Lawns Church of the Nazarene, 2424 Caton Farm Road, after which he will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come into your awesome presence this evening as we begin our City Council meeting. We want to start this meeting by inviting your holy presence. We thank you, Lord, for the leaders of our city. We pray that you will lead and guide them today. As we have gathered here to promote peace, order, and justice, we ask that you will bless our mayor and various levels of city officials. We pray particularly for the council that has gathered here today. We pray that you would grant them wisdom, a sense of welfare, understanding of the true needs of people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to be able to work together in harmony, peace, and rest in their personal lives, and joy in fulfilling the task to which you have called them. We also pray, Lord, for the residents of this city. We pray for unity in diversity, that we will be one but many people with love and kindness. We thank you, Lord, for areas of growth that we see, and we pray for healing in places of brokenness in our city. Guide us tonight as we see Joliet as you do, and show our leaders the way to serve and lead us. And as we celebrate Christmas, I pray that you will help us fix our eyes on you, the greatest gift of all, and to know, Lord, that you are with us. So may this meeting bring glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace and goodwill to all men with your help. We pray these things in your holy and matchless name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Whitaker.
Here.
Clement. Here. Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris. He will not be able to attend this evening. Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
Representatives here for the.
You step forward, please. Joseph. Yeah, step up. Yeah, I welcome you guys here tonight. Jojo, you've been here before, but you have a great honor that I want you to share the people of Joliet, something you accomplished last week with your father. If you could let the council know, please.
Let me go first. Let me say this about before we went to the tournament. Maybe I didn't tell you. Before a month ago, I got shot. I got shot in the job, and when the ambulance came there to took me to the hospital, I told them that I won't go, and they asked me why. I said because my son have a guy who drove from Kentucky to spar with my son. He was coming. I got shot Friday, so he was coming Saturday to spar with my son. I told them, you can take the bullet out. I'm going back home. And they said, no, they can't do that. I said, give me the knife. I'll take the bullet out by myself because I can't miss my son sparring because I want him to win the tournament so bad that my son, everything about my son come first. So I was lucky that the bullet didn't go in. So they wrapped me up. They sent me home. They let me sign some paperwork. So I came home. When I came home, my wife said, what happened to you? I said, no, I got cut. And then my wife asked me, say, why the tie is so nice? Why they wrap they wrap you so nice? I said, I don't know. I said, somebody wrapped me nice. So when I came home, we went to the gym at 7 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning. And before that, the ambulance, I asked them, if I go to the hospital, how long am I going to stay there? They said, maybe 3 or 4 hours. I said, no, I'm not going. I'm going back home. So when I came home and my son was doing sparring in the ring, and he was sparring. So when he was sparring, 3 rounds, and then I told him in the ring, I said, I got shot. So I just want to see how he's going to behave with that. He know that there's somebody fighting with somebody in the ring. But he behaved really good because I want it so bad, man. I want to win this national so bad. I've been doing this thing for a long time, and I want to win this national. For him to be number one, just in Illinois, the whole Illinois, for him to be the one that will win from Illinois to be in the national team, the national team, that means a lot to me. We've been doing it for a long time, since he was 8 years fighting. So now he's 10-time national champion, and I really like that. And one thing also I want to say to you, thank you a lot for you give us money to go to the national team, man. You know, a lot of people don't know those things about you, man. You're a good man, man. I wish you stay here for a long time and supporting my son, man. He have a lot of kids from Joliet here sending me, they send me Instagram. I'm always talking to them, and he know how to talk to kids, and he's an influence also. You know, he give kids good advice. Say thank you. So I told him to bring the belt to come and show you the belt, how the belt look like. I want this belt so bad, man. I've been doing this for a long time. We want this national belt so bad. It looks so good.
So JoJo's a national champion. You're a member of Team USA Boxing.
Yes.
Is that the equivalent of a junior Olympian? Would that be?
Yeah, so that's basically the people that are going to the Olympics. That's like the team before they go to the Olympics. So me being on the junior part of that side, I get to go to the camp, train with the people. It's just a great experience for me to also be #1 ranked in the country again.
That's excellent. Well, congratulations. You've been a real honor to Joliet, so congratulations.
Also, I want to introduce you to Wasby. You know, he's a backbone of our. Every time we're going to a tournament, I'm supposed to be driving 10 hours, going to a fight again, and he told me, no, don't go, man. Just take some rest, man. You don't need to go. You know, you are #1 in the country already, so you don't need to go. So I brought him over here to see you and I told him also you help us. You know, you've been trying to help us for a long time. You know, but that time that you were telling me, hey, come and help. That time, Bolingbroke Mayor was the one helping us. Every time we go, that's why we didn't come to you from the beginning. And now the Bolingbroke Mayor is gone now. You are the one that also we count on a lot when we're going to travel. Okay, so thank you a lot.
Well, thank you. Congratulations. JoJo, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'll give you guys some backstory. My name is Joseph Alnongia. I've been boxing for a long time, 10 years now, and this was the 10th national that I've won. Knowing that I have the mayor here and the community behind everything that I do, it's been a great help. And it's just, I want to let you guys know a lot of further things will be coming in the future, and this is a goal that I want to pursue for a long time. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm also attending JJC at the moment, so I want to be done with my nursing by the age of 18, have my degree then, and then I could go ahead and pursue boxing for some years then.
Very good.
Well, I'm very proud of you because I'm also a nurse, so
Yeah,
good
thank
luck
you.
with that.
Good job. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Mayor, for all the help you have. Jojo and the city.
You're welcome.
Hello, panel and city council, mayor. I want to congratulate you for supporting Mr. JoJo, our aspiring champion from the city of Joliet. And I'm here to say that Joliet does champion winners. I myself am a Steelman, built strong in this city. We have kids such as JoJo that come from the inner cities, in which I grew up in. It's not about me, it's about JoJo and the kids of our community. JoJo grew up with a 2-parent home. He was able to have the support that he needed. You have so many families across our city that are impoverished, disenfranchised. They don't have the opportunities that JoJo has. So I'm asking the city of Joliet, on behalf of my kids, the other children, and the rest of the community, for the support that we need in order to have a safe place or a safe haven for our kids to go and grow and become great leaders of our city. I stand behind this young man and this family. He's been doing this for many, many years. Great young kid, and we have so many other great young kids across our city that are not here tonight, but I'm here for those kids and to speak on behalf of those kids because they deserve a chance just like JoJo and so many other kids across our city. And I'm just asking that we as a city come together in diversity in which he prayed for earlier. In the prayer, we need diversity in our city from everyone. We're a city of people. Togetherness is what we need. We need unity. Our kids are our future. I'm I'm gonna get old. I got grandkids already. So I won't be here much longer, but our kids and our grandkids will be. So it's our job to catapult their future into the best future and the brightest future for those kids in our city. And for that, I thank you again in the city council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's outstanding.
And I also received this medal here.
Congratulations. Good work.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Jojo.
That's so hard.
Congratulations.
That is amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with the following changes? Remove Council Memo 614-22, which is a public hearing for a resolution approving an annexation agreement for 23551 and 23525 South Better Road to be brought back at a later date. And also remove Council Memo 616-22, which are ordinances associated with 23551 and 23525 South Better Road. Remove it, those would be brought back at a later date as well. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of Council Memo 614-22 and 616-22?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin? Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. First is David Suisse, Council Memo 623-22.
Good evening, Council. My name is David Sweiss, and I represent the applicant that's on agenda item 623-22. This is set for vote today, application for a special use permit. We had two neighborhood meetings with this, one with the attendance of the mayor and City Councilman Guerrero. These were both went satisfactory, and we have not received any objections from the community since we noticed those meetings and conducted those meetings. And we look forward to your vote this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Tom Osterberger.
Mayor and City Council, I am here on matters 617 and 620. The Barney Drive special use request. We had our representatives here last night from Herc Rental. They're looking to use the facility for a very similar to what we see at Rental Max. The use, it'll clean up the building and it'll be less intensive than what we saw as Alexander Lumber. The other request is for a special use for a self-storage facility at Caterpillar in McDonough. We had a meeting, neighborhood meeting. We addressed some of the concerns. They made comments to staffs. I have a representative here. Any questions? But you're going to see a very low-intensive, low-lit, quiet use. I think it'll be the best use in an I-1 for the local residents. I hope they're happy. So, any questions on that matter? Please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Dan Malinowski. I'm with the engineering firm Will Hoffman and Associates at 3180 Theodore Street in Joliet. I'm representing the applicants for the agenda item 622-22. The applicants are here tonight, as they were last night. Charles Sharp and Mike Collins, longtime local representatives and developers of the property. The project is the Mountain Road Commercial Park, Second Edition, Unit 2, and we're asking for approval of the recording plat for that project. They will be here in case you have any questions or concerns or comments. Project is a continuation of the development that's been going on for about 20 years now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move to appointments. First, tonight, the mayor is recommending Veronica Pollard be appointed to the Committee on Citizens with Disabilities. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudron.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Next appointment, the mayor is recommending Donna Franks Tapley be appointed to the Arts Commission. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudron.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Motion carried. Next is Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a motion to appoint Councilman Clement to serve as Mayor Pro Tem for the term January 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudron.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is council committee reports. First is diversity and community relations.
Thank you, Anna, for the opportunity. The Diversity and Community Relations Committee met on December the 14th at 3 o'clock here in the council chambers. Members are Councilwoman Quillman and Councilman Guerrero. We were also assisted by staff, Ms. Reeses and Christina McNichols. We had a presentation on the non-violent city project. I just want to thank Doug and Maria for coming in and outlining their mission and their vision statements to us, and also explaining their needs and resources. So we were able to talk through with them about collaborations for them reaching out to Will County as well as the state for partners. So we all agreed that there will be a follow-up with this organization, and we will keep them informed about next meeting dates or updates from them as well. Committee members, did I miss anything on that? Councilwoman Quillman?
Oh, no, you're fine with diversity.
Okay, Caesar, anything else to add?
No, we had our own mission and vision statement on the agenda, and postponed that to a future meeting. I want to apologize. I had double booked myself and had an overlapping meeting with Allison Swisher in the Utilities Department. So we'll be following up with that at our next committee meeting.
Yes, thank you, sir. Mayor, that is our report.
Thank you.
Finance committee report.
So the Finance Committee met today in the council chambers at 5:30. Present were Councilman Joe Clement, Councilwoman Sherry Reardon, and myself. Began with a few agenda items, first of which was an ordinance authorizing the city of Joliet to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program for 2023 to 2030 lead water rehabilitation projects and 2025 to 2030 lead water service line replacement projects. As you know, it's an ongoing task to replace and renovate some of our existing water infrastructure. This is, nothing new, kind of just continuation of our existing programs to apply for WIFIA and IEPA loans. This is just kind of gives us the flexibility to continue with those programs. We also had an ordinance amending Chapter 12, Section 13 of the Code of Ordinances in the City of Joliet. This is a change to billing procedures for ambulances to bring it closer in line with the standards outlined by the Ground Emergency Medical Transport Program. So this is going to allow us to be able to recoup some expenses from Medicaid. And just in case anyone was wondering, most importantly, this comes at no additional cost to our residents. Further, we had an ordinance repealing Chapter 28, Divisions 1 and 2, an ordinance adding Chapter 2, Article 9, Division 8. This was just a change made on the Foreign Fire Insurance License Board, change to have that mirror state law to bring us into accordance with what's on the books with the state. We had our monthly reports, so we're now in November, bringing us to 91.6% of the fiscal year, almost coming to an end. Revenues are continuing on a positive trend. We are looking to end the year with approximately $20 million more in revenue than we had compared to last year. We can attribute that increase to income-related taxes. We also saw a substantial portion of that being $5 million from the development fee from North Point. General sales taxes are looking to be similar to what they were last year, but home rule sales tax is up 3.8%. And building permits are expected to end 2.5 million, better than they were last year. However, expenses are also up. We're looking at anticipating those to be $12 million more than they were from last year, and that's largely attributed to an increase in employee costs. There was a number of contracts that were settled, so we had quite a bit of retroactive pay. So revenues are showing a decrease over from last year, include real estate transfer tax, which is down 150,000. That's going to be something that we'll be closely monitoring. Electric tax was down by 20%, averaging about 328,000, and that's attributed to improvements in energy efficiency and changes in weather. Hotel and motel tax revenues was down 300,000 from last year. We also had some reports on our water and sewer programs. Revenues are trending 6.9% higher from last year, and that's on track with the increases in rates. There's essentially operating as per normal, no surprises here. But the finance department is looking to make sure that they're bringing past due accounts back into making regular payments and bringing those on track. We would discuss it a little bit. We would like to avoid disconnecting residential water lines. Unfortunately, in some cases, that's a necessary tactic that has to be done in order to bring people up into compliance. Invoices were normal. Travel expenses were very few, so very normal there. Personnel, we have 17 openings, most of which will be filled from in-house, just 2 that we're looking to hire from outside. Invoices, nothing out of the ordinary, except for $412,000 that was spent on vehicles. And of course, that's something that we've talked about in previous council meetings of replacing our vehicle fleet for police and fire. So nothing out of the ordinary. And unless I missed anything, that should be a report.
Thank you.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Okay, I will be giving the land use and legislative report today because Councilman Morris is unable to attend today. So bear with me, this is kind of last minute put together here. So we met on December 14th here in council chambers on the excuse me, on the committee is Councilman Clement, Councilman Morris, the chair, and myself, Quillman. Also, Christy McNichols and Gabe Friend from Neighborhood Services were involved with early. First, we discussed the Community Development Grant block grant updates. 4 recipients have returned agreements ready for signature for this year's CDBG funding. Catholic Charities, the Diocese of Joliet, Holston Human Capital Development, which is Public Services Case Management, Latino Economic Development Association, Microenterprise Economic Infrastructure, Easter Seals, which is Joliet Region, and all will be presented at the January 3rd, 2023 City Council meeting for further review. The Community Development Block Grant COVID-19 funding we discussed, and there will be a presentation of that also on the January 3rd City Council meeting. Gabe Friend from Neighborhood Services gave the committee an update on the single-family rental program. He said it is a huge task, but they're ready to meet the challenges. They do have some new employees ready to go out there and do the inspections that they need to do, and we're gonna get a handle on how many exactly rental houses we have. Do you remember offhand, Joe, how many he said that they identified already?
7,000?
Something like that. Is it 7,000?
Yes, I believe it's in the area of.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, I didn't want to read it, I
Yes.
have it in front of me, so. It's amazing that we have all those, and I'm sure there's many, many more single-family homes out there that need to be inspected that are rentals. Also, we'll be meeting, the next meeting will be on Wednesday, January 11th at 4 PM here in council chambers. Does anybody have any questions? Good. You want to add anything, Joe? No. Okay, all right, thank you, that's it, that concludes our report.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service met here at City Hall in the council chambers yesterday at 4:30. On the committee in attendance was Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Morris, and myself. Also in attendance were the Director of Public Works, Greg Ruddy, Director of Public Utilities, Allison Swisher, and various staff. It was fairly routine, a little bit of closeout for the year. There were 4 contracts we looked at. One contract that we looked at to award, for the council to award, was a new street sweeper for $275,000, so that we can get back to what we, having 5, 1 for each district. And that's where that's headed. We looked at contracts for anti-icing and de-icing fluids for this winter, sludge storage, our sludge tank repair. Then under change orders, pay estimates and final payments, we closed out essentially a 2021 roadways resurfacing contracts A and B. And yes, I said 2021. We're doing the same thing this year, even more so. A lot of delay during the COVID, and now with the supply, the strike that happened last summer, 2022 is going to bleed into 2023. But as you can see, we get it all done. It just takes a little extra time. So there were the 2 items for contract A and B that we closed out with the final payment. We looked at an extension or a change order for the maintenance contract for Van Eck Electric, because we needed to remove low-hanging electrical wires over the expanded Cass Street maintenance facility, because you can't have backhoes going around with electrical wires right above them, raising and lowering their bucket. So they were changed from overhead to underground. I didn't promise anybody anything exciting in this report, just the facts. So we looked at all the change orders, pay estimates, and final payments, and they were in order. Then there was an ordinance proposing the establishment of the 2023 Joliet Special Services Area 1, 2, and 3. That's part of the, not resurfacing program, that's part of the roadway improvement. Every year we do that. So we have to approve it preliminarily so that in February there can be a public hearing before the council makes the final approval on those special services areas. And we had a alternative water source program update. I didn't have them come here and bring it to you. It wasn't very long, but let's just put it this way. We are on schedule and on budget as expected. And there will be an expanded water project meeting in January that will give even more details. But right now, things are going along smoothly was the sum total of that presentation. Betty, did I leave anything out?
No, sir, you covered everything, thank you.
Everything on the agenda for recommendation was unanimously approved. There was no item that was not approved unanimously, so this will all become before the council either tonight. Some of it will be tonight, a couple items like the de-icing that we need to do immediately. Everything else will be here in 2 weeks for council approval. And that, Mayor, would be the report for public service. Thank you.
I show no other reports. Moving on to consent agenda. Approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the city council meeting held on December 5th and the minutes of the council meeting held on December 6th, 2022 stand approved as reported. Invoices paid report. It's recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council Memo 600-22, regular payroll for September 23rd through October 6th, 2022, $3,887,295.78. Council Memo 601-22, regular payroll for October 7th through October 20th, 2022, $3,757,810.14. Council Memo 602-22, regular payroll for October 21st through November 3rd, 2022, $3,925,383.98. Council Memo 603-22, regular payroll for November 4th through November 17th, 2022, $3,759,820.40. It's recommended said regular payrolls be approved. Council Memo 604-22, award a contract for the 2022 Traffic Signal Materials Purchase Order Number 2 to Traffic Control Corporation in the amount of $43,760. Council Memo 605-22, award of contract for the 2022-2023 bulk rock salt purchase with the State of Illinois Morton Salt and Cargill Salt to purchase salt at the average unit price of $78.36 per ton. Council Memo 606-22, award of contract to Mimecast for web security in the amount of $35,755. Council Memo 607-22, award of contract to Videotech for physical security project in the amount of $71,870. Council Memo 608-22, purchase of one Pelican sweeper to Standard Equipment in the amount of $275,000. Council Memo 609-22, change order number 1 in the amount of $9,181.72, and payment request number 3 and final in the amount of $53,669.36 for the 2022 pavement marking program to Superior Road Striping. Council Memo 610-22, change order number 1 to Granicus Suite PO in the amount of $17,745.40. And Council Memo 611-22, change order number 2 to Managed Print Services PO in the amount of $22,000. Council Memo 612-22, change order number 3 for the Reedwood Phase 2 Water Main Improvement Project to Len Cox and Sons Excavating in the amount of $16,564.24. It's recommended Council Memo 604-22 through 612-22 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Yes.
Motion carried. Council Memo 614-22 was previously removed from the agenda. Council Memo 616-22 was previously removed from the agenda. Moving on to Council Memo 617-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow construction equipment sales and rentals in a B3 general business zoning district and an I1 light industrial zoning district at 100 Barney Drive. Is there a motion to approve said ordinance?
Quick question,
Yes.
Mayor. Jim, do you know, or maybe even knows, this is outside, over there we have the medical TIF that was established several years ago. This is outside the medical TIF, right? It's in the general area, but it's outside the actual TIF, right? I'm presuming it is because it's already, obviously was already zoned all these years for Alexander Lumber for this use, but I just wanted to make sure. And actually, I was going to request something, Jim, if you could have Economic Development and Planning put together a report after the first of the year. Where are we at with the medical TIF? We really haven't heard anything in
Yeah,
a
you
while.
know, that's a very good question. When a year or two ago, there was a facility that came here and had made some inquiries about doing some stuff, but they just, decided to go somewhere else. So it was unfortunate, but that's the only time I've ever had any discussions with somebody wanting to bring somebody here in the medical TIF. I have not had anything since.
Have we seen any improvements in the existing buildings taking advantage of the TIF?
No,
No?
not that I'm aware of. So that they've taken advantage of the TIF. I believe the TIF. I don't believe it was specifically for medical. I think it's just a TIF area.
It was, I believe the Tony's development was within the TIF.
It was in the TIF,
Right.
but I don't believe that I don't believe that there's just a specific for medical use only. I think it's just a TIF.
For the, right, for the area surrounding the St. Joe's campus.
Right. So but there was a medical facility that wanted to go in there, but there's not the TIF is kind of the TIF. And I'm not aware of actually a specific, like a medical TIF or an industrial TIF, just kind of, it's a TIF zone to be used in accordance with. So same thing like the TIF downtown here, we also have a TIF on Jefferson Street.
Yeah, I remember we did, well, let's go on to the,
Yeah,
if
but I'll
you can
find
look
out
into
for you.
that and-
Absolutely, we'll do.
And we give them a
And we'll get-
discussion
we'll
after
get
the
you-
first of the year,
exactly.
because
We will certainly get all that information.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Councilman.
Eagle looked it up and she did not find it in the list yet. It must just be outside the set.
Okay, I thought it was, I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve,
So
Council?
moved. I asked all the questions, so I'll make the motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 617-22, which is an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow construction equipment sales and rentals in a B3 zoning district and an I1 zoning district at 100 Barney Drive. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 618-22, an ordinance prohibiting the use of groundwater as a potable water supply surrounding the property at 818 East Cass Street. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 619-22, an ordinance proposing the establishment of the 2023 Joliet Special Service Areas, numbers 1 to 3. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 620-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a mini storage facility with an office located at 310 Caterpillar Drive. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 621-22, an ordinance authorizing the city of Joliet to borrow funds from the Public Water Supply Loan Program for 2023 to 2030 water main rehabilitation projects and 2025 to 2030 lead water service line replacement projects. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Mayor? Yes, just want to make a comment. I probably should have said it in my report. This is not authorizing the use of these funds. We have to get in line. We have to get in the queue. So this gets us in the queue. Any projects that happen during that period still have to come to the council before they're approved for financing. But the government, state and federal governments on these programs, they want you in the queue. They want you to do the preliminary work. So we're not taking this loan out right now. We're just authorizing that we can do it over the next few years.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 621-22?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin. Motion carried. Council Memo 622-22, an ordinance approving the recording plat of Mound Road Commercial Park Subdivision, Second Edition, Unit 2. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 623-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a trucking facility and a warehouse in an I-2 General Industrial Zoning District located at 212 Page Avenue, 220 Maple Street, and 300 Maple Street. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Question, Mayor.
Yes.
Jim Torrey, am I understanding this correctly, that trucks will not be coming in and out of, on Page there? Off of 30?
That's correct, yeah, they'll just be coming in off of Maple. Eventually, hopefully in a couple months, you'll see a vacation of a portion of Page, and then a fence established, so that access will only be for emergency purposes, but the main access will be off of Maple.
Off of, something has to run off of Maple to get in there. Is this gonna be Benton then, or?
They go into Maple and then vacated portion of, I think, that, yeah, but all their internal road into the site is vacated. They own it. So it's just Maple off of, Cass.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 623-22?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
No.
Motion carried 6-4. Under resolutions, Council Memo 625-22, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a paratransit local share agreement with PACE and to apply for grant funds available under Title 20 of the Social Security Act. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 626-22, a resolution of the City of Joliet declaring its official intent to reimburse certain capital expenditures from the proceeds of future debt issues. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
Move to approve.
Second.
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 627-22, a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the 2022 pavement marking program in the amount of $9,181.72. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
In motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 628-22, a resolution authorizing the release of executive session minutes. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And seconded to approve, Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
Yes, I'd just like to remind everybody that Friday is supposed to be bitterly cold. We're expecting quite a bit of snow. If it gets too cold, oftentimes, even though the city crews are putting salt down, it's not always effective. So please be aware that we are prepared to do that. We also have emergency shelter in place for, so if you see somebody out on the street that doesn't have a place to go, we've actually made arrangements to take care of those folks. And lastly, keep an eye on your neighbors, help each other out here. Try to park in your driveways. I know that we have an ordinance forbidding parking on the street when over a couple of inches. So try to keep your cars off the street as best as you can so that the crews can get to take care of you. And also like to wish certainly everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So that concludes my report.
Next Next is new business, not for final action or recommendation.
Joe? Betty? Caesar?
Yeah, just one thing. Mayor, as you mentioned, I think at our last council meeting, we're anticipating a significant increase in the volume that's being processed through the intermodal. For Councilwoman Quilton was also at the Cunningham neighborhood meeting. Mayor, I believe you had to leave early. We continued to talk about the subject a little bit, and I brought up the idea of a container tax. And I know that's not something that we can, implement easily, or certainly not something that will go into effect overnight. But I think it's certainly not too early to start to, brainstorming some possibilities of revenue streams. When you're seeing that much of a significant increase in volume being processed through the intermodal, I think we have to come up with a way to be able to offset some of the costs to our infrastructure that we're going to see. So again, I floated the idea of a container tax. I know that's not something that, that is entirely at our discretion. The intermodal does sort of fall into federal jurisdiction. But I think if city staff and us on the council can start to brainstorm some ideas of how we can generate more revenue through the intermodal, again, just to offset some of those costs. So,
Mayor, if I can for a moment, I remember quite a while ago, Councilman Hugg had floated the idea of a container tax. I think it was $25 a tax or something like that.
Between 5 and 50, we never.
Yes, I remember just from past experiences. So we have looked at that. We've looked at putting in a special assessment area into those intermodals because they do create a bit of truck traffic, and we'd like to have. We have to, as that continues to grow, we will have to continue to put additional city resources there in terms of trucks, police, street maintenance. So we're looking at a way we can somehow structure that going forward to where we can recoup some of that money so that it becomes self-sufficient. It's not a drain on the resources for the rest of the citizens. So we will look again at the container tax. I don't know whatever happened to that, but I'll revisit that as well. So.
And I know it's not as easy as just saying let's make it happen. It doesn't happen that simply.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's going to take some time to figure this out. But thank you.
If I can add to that, and ultimately that may be an idea that we really have to pursue. When I first was elected mayor, we actually reached out to Long Beach, California, to figure out how they're handling the port. When you said that the intermodal is creating a bit of traffic, that's an understatement.
Right.
The truck traffic is coming from the intermodal.
That's correct.
Almost 100% of it. But Long Beach, California designed, their port is designed completely differently than what happened here in Joliet. Right. I think their way is actually far superior to what we have here in Joliet.
I believe Long Beach, when I did spoke to them many years ago, they own the actual property and then they lease it to the various agencies. So the city of Long Beach always, they own the underlying land and then they lease that back to the companies that allow them to build, et cetera, et cetera. So I think we'll have to take a look at that and look at some ways. It's kind of a touchy subject as to, is it a special assessment area? Do we put an additional, create additional tax? And what does that look like? I have some ideas, but they're not quite ready for prime time yet. So we certainly have looked at that. I know I shared some thoughts with the mayor about how we can go about that. And if you'd like, I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that. But yes, this is something you're absolutely right. This is have been identified, and we need to move forward with something like that, a revenue generator.
I also know from looking into this that Senator Wilhelmy, prior to me being elected on the council, tried to establish a port authority in the region, and he was met with a lot of headwinds on that. So there have been kind of startup attempts, but nothing serious to try to bring communities together. I know, speaking with other mayors in Lockport, in Romeoville, in Shanahan, Shorewood, there is some consensus about trying to band together as a region to deal with what's happening in the intermodal. But again, nothing's been successful up to this point. But I do think a container tax is something that should be kept on the table.
Yes, sir.
Larry?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on that subject, what we did establish is if we were to actually do a tax, it would be a rental style tax based on that, which means we would have to also tax car rentals, tuxedo rentals, so forth and so on. And so what we had said back when Derek Connolly was here too, even prior, I think, Jim, to you coming on board too, so we should look at it. We really need to set a contingent out, set up some meetings and meet with the officials in Long Beach, observe their operation, look at what they did. We don't need to reinvent the wheel and see if we can actually duplicate it with some changes.
Right, I've been in contact with Granite City downstate and to look at how they are running their intermodal, which is via shipping, which is on containers, on barges, and see if we can duplicate that here and what their model looks like as well. And they've been very cooperative, but just haven't had the chance to get down there and sit down with them yet. So hope to do that next month or two. So.
Very good.
I've been approached by some citizens asking if we could consider having credit card readers in the parking deck. And I know we have a parking study going, but most businesses seems to be going the opposite way. When we say cash only, they're going no cash, credit card only.
Right, I think that's something we certainly need to look at the way we do our business there. We are a little bit top heavy in terms of personnel out at the park district. I mean, the park district, at the parking deck. So, because we shut down the one parking deck and we had to absorb those other employees, some folks retired, and so we need to take a look at how we do that and what would be the plan going forward. But I agree with you. That's how just about every other community has a credit card where you just go in there and put your credit card in and you pay. I mean, that's how we do our the majority of our meters right now. If you go park in front of the Rialto or you park on the street, you just, you use your credit card, you buy some time and you move out. So so absolutely, Councilman.
Mayor?
Yes.
If I could just ask a quick question, because I know that the parking study is something that's been ongoing. Do we have an anticipated date of when?
I think it'll be here just shortly after the first of the year. My understanding is that we're expecting a draft any day, but so it'll be relatively quick.
Jim? Sherry?
No.
Along the lines, it's timely talking about the intermodal. There was a presentation given a couple weeks ago for the Humboldt Road Bridge. Part of the presentation was a drone video of the construction. It's like a 12-minute long video, but I think we've edited it to about a minute and a half. I can show the council and the public so they get an idea of the progress that's been made. And just to reiterate, the Humboldt Road Bridge, I think, is the first real attempt that any community has made to try to get the intermodal traffic off of local roads and find a way directly on and off the expressway in and out of the intermodal. So obviously we partnered with Larry Walsh and Will County to get this done. There's no city funds being expended. We got $25 million from the state of Illinois for the new interchange at I-80 and Humboldt Road, and for the 4-lane extension for Humboldt Road going south to Route 6. Everything from Route 6 south into the intermodal is being built with private funds. So I know, Mr. City Manager, last time we were in Washington, we met with some labor officials who pointed to this as the way forward, the way they see capital improvement projects being built moving forward in our country. So we're really at the tip of the spear on this, but it's very exciting, and I think the drone shots will give a good representation. The hope is that this will be open by the end of next summer. And again, relieve some of the congestion on our local roads, Chicago Street, Route 52, Route 53, and getting trucks another way in and out of the intermodal. So if you can go ahead and play that, please. So one other thing to add to that I was not aware of, there's going to be a pedestrian walkway, permanent pedestrian walkway also on the side of the bridge. So it's a great step forward. Again, Councilman Guerrero, you're right, the intermodal is doubling their operation. So I'm happy to see this come to fruition. Probably was a couple years later than what we wanted, but I was glad to share that video and be really happy next year when we can see the opening of this. So that's all I have for new business.
Next is public comments. Mariana Perez.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Madi. I live on the 200 block of Comstock Street. I'm here before you all today because once again, my home was shot. This makes the 14th shooting of my home in the last 4.5 years. 19 bullets came into our home. These are just some of my children that reside at my home. My children are being traumatized by this experience. I bought this home 24 years ago when I was 19 years old in 1999. Never experienced these types of problems until my second oldest was dragged into a botched investigation by the detectives here at JPD that brought these gangbangers to my front door, and it has not stopped. I've pleaded before you over and over. I've been to detectives unit over. I've missed a lot of work to deal with this, and they're gonna follow up with you. An investigator from the detectives department will follow up with you, and they never do. They never do. Friday at 1:30 in the morning, made the 14th shooting, and no detective has ever come out to check on my children to see if they're okay, to see if we have any additional leads. I have given them the names of the people that I believe are responsible for this, that are taking credit on social media for this. They're delinquent juveniles. Some of them are already sitting in Will County Jail for the murders of Holly Matthews and Mr. Ceballos. Those 3 individuals were also part of this group, and I will not stay silent. God is over this. God is the only one that's protected my children. In April, 48 shells were on the street in front of my home. 22 of them pierced through my home. My daughter was sitting on the counter and was almost hit. And with all of this trauma and all of this suffering and anxiety and fear that we are dealing with, I pray and stay in faith, and I continue to do the right thing. I don't have hate for these people. I want them apprehended, and I want it to stop. I've contacted and met with this new chief. I've met with him. I was told in April that they were going to do something. I got a voicemail from Deputy Sherry Blackburn, who I respect highly. She is a phenomenal person. And nothing happened because the people that are over this are in investigations. The very department that's failing to secure our safety. I am pleading before you to please get JPD to hand this case over to the State Police of Illinois District 5. I do not confide in them. I don't believe that they are capable of making an arrest already, and I do not want to bury one of my children. And I want to share with you, as appalling and disgusting as this is, on Friday, after going to all of your offices at the City Hall, I went to see the city manager. After all of that, I get home to DCFS being at my home because their department, JPD's department, decided to make an allegation of a safety welfare check on my children. I am a good mother. I love my children. They are my life. I work very hard. I work 2 jobs to support my family. And it is not fair that they use this agency of DCFS to intimidate me or retaliate against me, to silence me because I'm trying to uphold them accountable for what they're failing to do. I need somebody to be arrested. They are not capable of doing it. I'm begging you to please talk with State's Attorney Glasgow. He is able to assign it to the state police. They could get all of these reports and investigate this. I want it out of JPD's investigations department because I don't think that they take this serious. I feel they're retaliating against me because my son, Eric Rea, came home on obstruction of justice on the very case that brought this violence to my door. I am begging you. Look at my children, please. Look at their face. They are in high school, they're in grammar school. It is not fair. I am not asking for anything. I spent thousands of dollars replacing doors, windows, everything. I pray over my children and I still, get them to be strong in faith and not to let this taint their heart. And it is hard doing this. I am begging you to please do something already. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, I don't want to have a public conversation. Is there an update that you can give Ms. Perez on what happened? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. This is, again, nothing against you guys. I just need help. Thank you.
Thank you.
there anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to mayor and council comments.
Kathy, do you want to speak?
Oh, hello, you guys. Final words before the end of the year, till next year, till we meet again. That family, I know what they're going through. I know what it feels like to be shot at. I was shot at before, and I really hope that in 2023, we get the violence to end, and not only just Joliet, Chicago, all across the US. We hope in 2023 that this violence ends. We hope COVID ends. And like you said, City Manager Jim, you know, with this cold coming, everybody think of your loved ones, think of your friends, think of their neighbors, and even think of your enemies, because this cold is gonna be very hard on a lot of people, and we all need to look out for each other, you know? And as far as you guys delaying that vote for that project on Vetter Road, I thank you guys for that, to where I can actually enjoy my Christmas, which might be my last with my dad, so I thank you guys for delaying that vote on that. But until then, I hope you guys all have Merry Christmas, enjoy yourselves, and enjoy your loved ones, because we never know when our last day will be. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Everybody, Merry Christmas.
You too, thank you.
Merry Christmas, Kathy.
Next are mayor and council comments.
Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I just want to kind of echo what Kathy said there. I just want to take a second to think of all our loved ones that have passed, not only years ago, but you know, a couple years ago, last year, this year. Just take a second to think about your loved ones that you see every day. And I also want to just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to not only citizens Joliet, but all my colleagues here and my family. So.
Betty?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Got a couple of big shout outs I want to do. First, I want to shout out to Katie Rovinda and her gifted bandits, providing an awesome opportunity for children to come and select gifts for their parents and their guardians. We had an awesome turnout. Chris, I want to thank you and your daughter for coming to help volunteer for that. It was an awesome time. We had a great time doing that. The other thing, a big shout out to the Joliet Police Department for, again this year, for providing those hot meals to people who want and need them. And I think it's a great opportunity for our police department to go out and gather those families and provide them with a meal. And lastly, just to my colleagues, to the residents of the city of Joliet, I'm wishing all a very blessed Christmas and a safe one. Let's all remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. So be safe and happy holidays. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Caesar?
So a few weeks ago, myself, Mayor, and Councilwoman Quillman attended a town hall with some staff of the Illinois Nurses Association. For the public who might not know, there's a very troubling situation happening, not only at our St. Joe's Hospital, but also at Our Lady of Angels retirement home. And so some of the staff there at OLA actually were on the picket line yesterday. I stopped by, I was able to join them for a bit. Despite the cold, they held their own, they stood their ground. So I just want to commend them for, standing up for the rights of the staff there and, demanding better treatment, better working conditions. And if we can continue to support you in any way that we can, we certainly won't hesitate to do so. I want to say also Merry Christmas to everyone here. And it's also Hanukkah right now. So happy Hanukkah to anybody who celebrates. And if there's any other holidays currently that I might have missed, well, happy holidays.
Larry?
I'd just like to congratulate again. We did it briefly, and Mayor, you and I spoke about it. The Plainfield South cross country team for taking first in the state last month, And I did reach out to him after you and I talked, Mayor. You'd like to honor him with a visit down here and a proclamation. They're very excited.
Good.
So if we can set that up in January, one of the meetings in January?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then if you let me know, I'll let the AD and coach know. I contacted both of them, and them and the kids are, so again, congratulations, and thank you for the proclamation that you'll be bringing forward, Mayor. Other than that, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Merry and blessed Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone up here and everyone out there. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Pat?
Like everybody, just want to wish everybody happy Christmas and great New Year.
Jan?
Couple things. One thing I want to just clear up. There was some misunderstanding a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the Rialto, and I've been getting calls and emails. Are you really forbidding weddings at the Rialto? Well, no, I am not. All I asked the staff to do was kind of coordinate with the restaurant owners downtown and Venue Works, see if they could come to a happy medium, because when you have a lot of weddings every weekend, it just takes away from the businesses that are downtown Joliet. I am not against having weddings at the Rialto, so let's just make that clear. Please quit calling me about that. Second of all, just along the lines of what Councilman Guerrero was talking about, I wasn't going to say anything, but there is a critical nursing shortage, not only here in Joliet, but it's nationwide. It's Chicago, Northwestern is, their nurses are in trouble, there's a shortage there. Hospitals are closing, it's a problem everywhere, and everybody's always about the pay, about the pay, about the pay. It is and it isn't, because today's nurse has to know way more than a doctor used to have to know. Equipment, medication, they have to be patient advocate, mental health person, you have to assess the situation, and there's so many more things that just a nurse can do, that needs to do. And when you're tired and you've worked a 12-hour shift and you're asked to work another 8 hours or 12 hours, you step up because you care. You care. But you are tired too, and that puts some patients in danger. And, you know, just to give you, there are some occupations, and, you know, I'm not going to mention anyone in particular, any particular one, just generalizations. Nurses are very much underpaid. And when they bring in the agency nurses from out of town, they can afford to pay them $60 to $80 an hour because they're not paying them benefits or vacations or insurance or what have you. And then if you have a nurse that's working there and has been dedicated and only making maybe $35 to $45 an hour, you know, that hurts, but you can't hire new ones. And the new ones that are coming in are only making between 25 and 30. And when the new ones are coming onto the floors and into the hospitals, you used to have a preceptor. And preceptors are going by the wayside because of the nursing shortage. There's not enough nurses to train the newer nurses with all the new education that they have, how the machinery works, how the hospital works, how that it's just a whole, it's a catch-22 actually. And it's not only here in Joliet, but it's nationwide, and if we don't do something, there will be more hospitals closing and patients will not get the care that they need. A lot of them are critical care patients, and patients today are sicker than they used to be, and they need more care, and because of insurance, they don't go to the doctor right away, and by the time sometimes they get to the doctor, it's the hospital, it's just too late. So as a nurse, I support our nurses, but please don't think it's all about the money. It's about taking care of our patients, taking care of you, our residents, and giving you the best care that they absolutely can give. And on that note, I would like to wish all my colleagues again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. I don't want to forget that. And please be well and stay safe. And I'll let you talk about the break.
Jerry?
I just want to say in advance, I saw the guys out there from the city today pre-treating our roads, so thank you very much, and thank you to what they're possibly up against over our holiday. So they may not be relaxing as much as we are, so let's thank them for what they'll be doing. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you. A couple of things. December 7th, Louis' Waffle House on McDonough Street, McDonough and Larkin had a ribbon cutting. I've eaten there before. It's really good food, so congratulations to the Louis' sons who are continuing the tradition here in Joliet. December 9th, I was at Jewel for the Salvation Army bell ringing. Thank you for Salvation Army for all they do for our community. December 11th at the Rialto, I was really proud to give a proclamation to the American Legion Band for their national championship at the holiday concert. So again, congratulations, American Legion Band, for their great work and the honor that they again have brought to Joliet. Excuse me. That same evening, Councilman Clement, you were with me at the United Cerebral Palsy School on Reed Street. They rededicated and have named the school after Megan Marie Riley, a former student of theirs. It was a very touching ceremony. I was glad to be part of that. Thank you, folks over at United Cerebral Palsy. And then finally, last weekend we had, and I'm still a little hoarse from it actually, we had the Santa Send-Off Parade. It was another great event. This is the third year we've done it. It might be, Councilman Coleman, I made the joke when we were riding that this may be the only good thing that came out of COVID. But Councilwoman Coleman, Councilman Morris, and Councilman Hugg all joined myself and Santa Claus in riding through the east side, over the bridge, through the west side, and eventually sending Santa back to the North Pole. Say thousands of people participated either along the parade route with their children or their families, or in vehicles that the parade passed by. So it's a great event. Thank you to staff for pulling that off. And with that, I'd like to thank our staff, City Manager Jim Caparelli, city staff, the department heads that are here, and our employees for another great year. I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. Councilwoman Reardon, you were correct. The street guys, or street personnel, are going to be out working a lot for the next 3 or 4 days, and probably being pulled away from their families on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day to make our city safe, as our police officers and our firefighters who do that every year. So again, thank you on behalf of myself and the city council to all our employees and our staff for another great year. I wish all our citizens a great Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. I'm excited about 2023 and continuing to move the ball forward here. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks to my colleagues, and no executive session, right?
I was going to call for one. No, I'm kidding. Mayor, real quick.
Move to deny.
There were some special things that Officer Lakota did to get Santa across town. I just wanted to point it out. And I don't know if you may have mentioned him, and I may have dozed off. I want to thank Officer Lakota. He was out there helping to get Santa, really helping to get Santa there. Thank you, Tony.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.